There we are. Thank you very much, Martina. I'm just here for an introduction to say thank you to the team that has put this presentation and the webinar together. This falls within a plan, a context of trying to provide useful tips, useful tools, hopefully useful services to experts, which is what we're here for. Outvise is a platform for experts, as you know. And what we try to do above all is provide good job opportunities, good projects, but then also other tools and tips to help find new projects or deliver new projects, or in a way become better at what we do altogether. So within this program, Martina is our community manager. She's responsible for dealing with all marketing aspects that are here to serve the experts. And so we've launched in the past some products to help you edit presentations, to access market intelligence. We've launched a program called Expert to Sell, where we support experts in a selling process, providing tips and tools and webinars also. And in this case, the topic that we've chosen is around references. Right? What is the important, how to stress the importance of providing a good reference as any professional changing jobs, but above all, for experts that freelance, to build up their credentials for new clients that obviously they might not know before. Otherwise, there's already a trust built up, but clients that might be finding the expert for the first time, reference become a key component of our process. So in this presentation, we'll explain why this is so important. We'll provide tips on how to provide these references, and we'll also show you how this fits within the Outvise platform. So moving to the next slide, I'll just to briefly introduce everyone who's going to be taking part in this webinar. Yes, great, Martina, thank you. So as I said, Martina is our community manager. We've also been in touch with Mariana Costas. She's a professional recruiter, and she's prepared a video for us explaining about references. What's her point of view, what's her experience with obtaining and sharing references. Myself, which is just I'm just here for the introduction, and then I'll hand over to the team. Okay, so Martina, thanks for the work you put into this, and yeah, all yours.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. So let's start, shall we? So what is a job reference? So basically our names and contact details of people who work with you. So they allow your future employers to check if you really work where you said you worked, or if you're a good employee as well. So there are two main reasons why references are so important. And the first one is obviously it validates your profile. And second, it also increases your chances of being hired. No? So I have 5 tips for you to improve your references. First one, carefully select your relevant references. You want people who are familiar with your work and also guarantee your skills. This is super important. Also, I recommend you to keep an updated professional reference list all time. Okay, this is also very important. Stay in touch with your network. Staying connected with your bosses in previous positions goes beyond just getting a good referral. It can expand your network and open doors for future job opportunities. Double check the information you give. Make sure to give the correct name and last name, also the email and phone number. We don't want bounce emails for sure. And of course, the correct company name. Make sure your references are always available and try to tell them in advance we're gonna communicate with them, or just so they can be aware. Okay, so we have a special guest, Mariana Costas. a recruitment coordinator. She's given us her HR point of view of how important are job references. So here's a quick video for point of view.
Hi everyone, thanks for being connecting. I will present myself. My name is Mariana Costa from Bolivia, master degree on human resource management and recruitment coordinator in Chile. Thanks for the invitation. Let's talk about one of the most important steps of the recruitment process, the job references. Why are references for job applications important? The job reference let us learn more about your personality and how you will approach the new position. Everyone tries to sound smart in an interview and professional on the resume with the correct words, right? But the job references show employers the real you. That's why it's so important. So including the right keywords in the body of the resume can help open doors. But the next step will be the interview, where we understand the motivations, learn about the hard and the soft skills of the candidates. And after that, we use the job references to make a double check from what we saw in the interview. Employers want to make sure they find candidates that match their company work ethic and the culture. That's why are so important for the final stage. Let me give a tip about it. Try always to include the job references on your resumes. That make it easier for potential employers to contact them and pass the next step of the process. So understanding this, now we can talk about how to choose the right professional references on your resume. The most important thing here is that the job references can speak of the different aspects on your skill, your performance, and also your soft skills, right? For example, a person that has worked with you in a project, or maybe it was a co-work in a crisis situation, it was the leader of your team, etc., can function, okay? Don't forget to pick carefully when we choosing references for the job applications, when we decide the best professional references to choose. Try to get a mix in former managers or past co-workers also. And if you're going for a management position, you can also include the past members of your team. Here goes a little tip. Let the reference know you're including them on your resume. Be sure to let your reference know that you are searching for a job and give them some background on the role you're applying for, so that they can be ready and prepared to speak to the headhunter or the human resource department. It's important to know that job references increases the chances of being hired, but you can also keep good relationships with past employers in between the hiring process. Staying connect with the past co-workers from peer reviews positions goes beyond just getting a good references. It can expand your networking and open doors to future opportunities or new projects. Another tip can be try to keep in touch with the professional references so they can be available when you need it. So it's so important. I hope everybody can apply these tips. For new questions or help, can also contact me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was Mariana giving us her HR point of view. Thank you so much. Now we're gonna go to how Outvise handles your reference, how we do it. So here's why we need your reference. Basically, they're essential for us to make sure your expert qualifications are verified. Also, during reference check, we verify your information you gave us, and mostly is learn how it's like to work with you. So when do we ask these references? First, this is on the onboarding stage. We do ask you on the onboarding stage, as well on the proposed stage. If we feel like you have a good potential for a job opportunity, we'll contact you and we'll tell you your proposed, and you can put your reference there. We ask at least for 2 recent references, but if you give us a 3rd one, that would be amazing. We confirm your references via email. So our platform algorithm highlights the strongest profiles. Here's where we propose the most relevant profiles to our clients. So this is a strong profile, an Outvise profile. Okay, so it has to have a valid email, of course, an updated CV. Also, your LinkedIn is very important, and references. It would be ideal if you have your profile picture, also your skills, your title, your language, and projects. So this is a very strong profile. Does anyone have any questions? Let's check.
I would just add that in the Outvise process, we gather the references in those 2 points, either when somebody registers and is onboarded in the platform. So there are criteria to onboard people in the platform. They have to be obviously telecom, media, and technology related, strong profiles on telecom, media, and technology. And then we strengthen further the profile with the references. And this feeds into the algorithm. The second point is if we're missing references or projects, related projects or sample projects, when somebody is proposed, they have the opportunity to provide them there. Again, it strengthens the profile match. What happens then is that the client accesses the CV, but not just the CV. We have an online profile of the experts that are proposed. And in that online profile, we see the skills, we see the references, we see the past projects. If they've been certified through a technical interview with one of our scouts, the feedback is also there. So the client can have a 360 view beyond the CV. Obviously, candidates that match strongly, that have strong profiles, and that are then presented to the client in addition to the CV through this online interface, which is web-based, have a much higher chance, obviously, to get interviewed and then eventually hired. So getting the references and the projects add to that information that strengthens the match, but also is shown to the clients when they review the potential candidates. So this is how we use at Outvise the references and also the related projects. Okay.
Thank you, Sevi.
You're welcome.
So we do have one question. So the first question is, can we give personal references? This is a good question. So normally you should avoid personal references, but they can be used on selected occasions. For example, if you don't have a previous job experience, or maybe your previous employee has a no policy reference. So in that case, you can either put a teacher or a coworker or a person who has authority in your circle. So
above all, we look for former clients.
Yeah,
right?
In Outvise, definitely we
That's our focus.
Yes, for sure. You're welcome. So, any other questions? Okay, we'll pass to the next slide then. Okay, so you don't want to miss our next webinar. Will be MGM, which is Member Get Member, with our incredible recruiter, Cecilia, you can learn how to earn 500 euros by sharing opportunities with your colleagues. You don't want to miss this, for sure. This will be next year. So I'll keep you posted and I'll send you everything you need to know about this webinar. And yeah, thank you. Thank you all for joining. It was a quick webinar, but very useful. Do you have anything?
There's another question.
Oh, sorry. If you don't get a response for whatever reason from the referral, do you notify the candidate? Yes. If we don't get if I don't get a response, I usually try to contact them I try for 3 times. So I send the first email, the second, and the third. If I don't get, I notify the candidate for sure. And also, if I have bounce emails, I also talk to the expert and try to get a correct email so I could get the referral.
Maybe it's also worthwhile adding that when an expert is engaged in a project with Outvise, when the project ends, there is a reference feedback process. So we send the client an email or form, an online form for them to complete that we can then use as a reference, right? And in that case, we ask to validate the skills and assess how the project went, which is the ideal way to get feedback from a client, which is a reference. So that's another way that we do once an expert has engaged in a project.
Yes. Any other questions or let's wait a little.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, I think everything was clear. That makes me happy. Thank you
Good.
again, everyone, for joining. I'm so happy you all attended. And yeah, if you have further questions, you can write me an email. Also, I will contact you after the webinar with the video recorded and all the info from Mariana Costas and myself. Have a great week.
Thank you.